I'm live, so that must be the case. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Vegan Mooncat. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Mark, and today we'll be speaking with the amazing MJ Carter. She's lost over 8 stone, which is about, did I say about 112 pounds? Yeah, I always get these sort of like numbers mixed up. Cutting out sugar, refined sugar, etc. So, without further ado, let's bring her in and say hi. Hi,
Hello.
you okay?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Thanks for coming. It's really good to have you here. We'll be on for about an hour if that's okay with you, MJ.
It is.
We'll see who's turned up so far. There's probably a few reprobates in at the moment, but hopefully some more will turn up. I don't know. As I think I said to MJ, I don't normally stream at this day of the week, so hopefully people figure out that it's going on. I've posted enough people. You've no excuses. So here we go. We've got Michael Askew in there. He's always first. He's a bit of what's the word? No, he's not. I wouldn't say that. I would say eager beaver, but it sounds a bit smutty, so I'm not going to say it. And then we have Catherine Green. Nice to see you. Level Joy, bonjour. I don't know why she's saying bonjour. She's from the Netherlands, but there we go. We've got Sheree, obviously, Hench Herbivore. Woo! He's a good friend of mine. Hench. He's a bit of a bodybuilder and nutritionist. MJ, really good guy. Always helping me out when I'm feeling lazy and telling me to get myself to the gym. Garuda, hi, how are you? Nice to see you here. And so far, unless there will, well, these are the people that have commented. I don't know if there's anyone else watching because you're keeping your mouth shut. So there we go. Anyway, MJ,
Hello. I'm so sorry, everyone. I've just clicked on the chat. It's like empty screen, and I'm like, hiya. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us.
No worries. And anyone who's not commenting, why are you not bothering? Just come on, start messaging and asking questions and do whatever you want as the stream goes on. Hench is telling me off, telling me to get my bottom to the gym. So there we go. All right, Paul, I'll get that done. Anyway, so I suppose we should really say how we know each other, MJ. Do you want to say? It saves me talking.
How do we know each other? So we were on a program. Funny enough, it's a year ago tonight that
I didn't know this.
Weight Like Me aired on Channel 4. Lose Weight Like Me. Myself and Mark, we were picked out of thousands of people, weren't we, to be weight loss heroes, weight loss coaches, weight loss mentors. And we got picked. We were the 4 that got picked. And I think between us, we lost between 14 and 7 stone.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, between you and me alone, it's 22 stone, isn't it? So
wow.
that's just a crazy amount of weight, really. I mean, yourself, I mean, I'm going to put up on there. There we go. So I've put it in on the screen, so I don't need to remember the conversions. 8 stone in old money, 112 pounds in not so old, and then in new money, 50.8 kilograms. I don't do kilograms. It's that's a lot of weight there. You've done really, really well.
Thank you. Do you know what? It's crazy. Do you know when people say, I have people from all walks of life telling me, they're like, you've lost a person, you've lost 2 people. I'm like, wow. You know, it's amazing when you see the numbers. But when I first started my weight loss journey, I literally just wanted to get healthier. So weight and sizes and inches and things like that, they didn't come into play for a while. I just wanted to get better, you know, and feel healthier. And then once the numbers started shaving off, I was just like, okay, I like this.
Yeah, it's obviously good to obviously start losing weight. But I'm with you. I mean, you know, I had a lot, and I think most of the people who are watching know I had a myriad of illnesses, so many illnesses. You know, like the heart illnesses. You know, like vascular problems, pre-diabetic. You know, like sleep apnea. I mean, you probably had quite a few different sort of illnesses yourself. I mean, what was your physical health like?
So many illnesses.
When you were that much heavier.
Yeah, so many illnesses. Well, when I got to my biggest, I was 21 and I felt so much older with my joints. I was having shortness of breath. I was having palpitations. I was struggling like walking upstairs, little ramps. And where I was living, at the flat I was living in at the time with my dad, there was like 13 stairs. And I remember just like getting to the middle of the stairs and like going, and just being so out of breath and thinking, this isn't right. This isn't
You
right.
did well though, getting to the halfway. It'd be like the first step for me.
There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way, isn't there? Every cloud.
Yeah, you get there in the end, don't you?
You do. And then once like the weight started like coming off me, my health started coming back, and I started feeling young again. And because I have ADHD and dyspraxia, I noticed my energy was coming back again. I was one of them kids. I was like the wind. I was in and out of everywhere, and then when I lost that, I lost myself. So
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, crazy, but what an amazing time.
Yeah, Joy's asking what your biggest challenge was when losing weight. When you first started. I mean, obviously, I don't know if we mentioned it, but you were basically a sugar addict. So was there any sort of when we say sugar, I take it we're talking refined sort of sugars. Like
fizzy drinks,
like fizzy drinks, donuts, sweets, chocolate, all that sort of stuff.
Although I never had a donut.
No donuts. You've lost your chance now. Unless you can find some kind of sugar-free version, you're out of luck.
So my biggest challenge, that's a really, really good question, Joy. Thank you. The biggest challenge for me was probably just coming off the sugary drinks, weaning myself off them. So I've spoken openly a lot about this, and I actually went into this corner shop, my little corner shop, something I did every single day. It was just robotically to me. And I grabbed a sugar-free version, and then I grabbed an original version of what was my favorite drink, and I bought the two of them, or probably the four of them, or the six of them. You know by now, don't you know how many there was?
I've seen you drink a few of the sugar-free versions.
Yeah. Well, imagine that reversed.
Okay.
On the other side, so it was just basically weaning myself off them. So what I did was I'd buy a sugar-free version and an original, and then I'd wean myself off them. So considering I'd have about 30 a week, I was having like 20, or like say I'd have 6 a day, I was having 4 a day, then 3 a day, and then weaning myself off.
Right.
That,
okay. I mean, that's a lot of the time, when to with me doing obviously veganism, being a vegan, that's a lot of the time people suggest that for somebody going to maybe veganism is in to sort of wean yourself off the animal products and replace them with the vegan alternatives until you've got yourself to the point where you've said bye-bye to the thing that you shouldn't be having, it seems a similar concept to what you were doing for yourself there.
Yeah, it really, really was. I think just weaning. I think the first thing, any advice I would give someone to start a lifestyle change, whatever that may be, vegan, sugar-free, anything, paleo. I think if you feel like you have an issue that's causing your health, affecting your health, then the first thing to do is be aware that there's a problem. That's the first thing that I had to do, is just be aware that there was a problem. I had an eating problem. I had an addiction. And it was so hard. It was a tough pill to swallow. But once I realized that, and I admitted to myself and the people closest to me, then I started to grow. And that's the hardest thing. But you've got to, if there is a problem, you have to just identify it with yourself and go, okay, and and turn it around, and then you're on that level to progress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was like for yourself, but I know when you get to a certain size and you're so unhappy with yourself, like mirrors don't get a look in. You don't do activities which would bring you to your own personal attention that you're just incapable of doing them most of the time. You won't go for long walks.
Well, I didn't go outside.
Yeah, neither did I particularly. I'd avoid everything. So I mean, if you're avoiding all those situations, you're around people that don't feel comfortable in telling you that you've hit rock bottom, and you just don't make a change because you're living in your own sort of like bubble where you're just denying what's happening to yourself.
Yeah, and you really, what I was doing, because I was living with my dad at the time. And I was everything that he would say to me about, like, oh, why don't you try this healthy food, or why don't you try this, or other examples, I would snap at him. And it wasn't me to do that, because it's not really in my nature. But because I was going through all this, depression, anxiety, I was battling 2 massive addictions. I was snapping, and any advice someone would give me, I'd tear their head off. I'd be like just a lion. It wasn't me, and I didn't like the person I'd become. Also, I lost my whole identity.
Yeah, because I mean, from obviously what I've I've spoke to you about before, and obviously you've
Yeah.
been recently in quite a lot of publications, etc. You had obviously skin issues. You're suffering dizzy spells. You had heart palpitations, like you said before,
Yeah.
and sort of an extreme fatigue, really, where you couldn't
Yeah.
sort of like do anything. So yeah, how does that compare to how you are now? Then I think we spoke about that before, but I take it everything's better now. Is it? Are you feeling like
Everything's a lot
opposite?
better. Yeah, it took things take time, as you know. It is a process.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
does.
just cut something out and go, "Whoa, yeah, look at me!" I'm going to climb the Empire State. It takes time, like everything does. So when I was, getting better, I started noticing little changes. I was able to walk down the street to the nearest lamppost, without being out of breath. I was able to stand up in my own home where I was living at the time, stand up for more than 20 seconds without feeling my knees going weak. Things like that. My heart rate was slowing down.
Yeah,
My skin
definitely.
was looking better. So when all these things were happening, that was what was important to me, not about numbers on a scale or numbers on a clothing rack.
Yeah,
And that's
because
the most important thing.
Yeah, because obviously sometimes, like the numbers on the scales or anything, they can be a good metric for you to see how you're progressing. But
Yeah.
they can also, for a lot of people, be quite discouraging. If you're not seeing the results that you actually want, then some people, tend to give up. I get your point with that. Yeah, it's great to think how. So, and obviously, you've touched on you were quite depressed and you were
Yeah.
reclusive, and did you have agoraphobia as
I had
well?
agoraphobia because I was scared to go outside, because I was feeling these dizzy spells, and I felt like the room was spinning when I'd stand up. I
Yeah.
was scared if I went outside, I'd collapse. I thought I'm going to faint outside. I don't know what's going to happen to me. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. They're going to find all kinds of illnesses inside me. It got
All
that
right. Okay.
heavy and it got that deep, and I was scared to go outside. And when I lost myself, it was the most scariest thing that ever happened to me. But when I look back now at pictures and videos and things from a few years back, I'm like, I don't recognize that person. I don't recognize who I was, and that's a really scary thing. And what I was going through, anyone out there who ever feels alone or feels misunderstood or feels like they just, they can't get out of that rut or they can't get through, you really, really can. And it's within. And that's the most important thing. And I know now in my life, if I ever feel like something bad's going to happen or I'm in a bad time in my life, I always reflect at that moment and know that I've come through that. I will come through other things. So that's my mental health now. But now my health's got so much better. I can walk for miles. Walking was a massive part of my lifestyle transformation journey. I never call it a diet.
That was you.
Call it a
That was your
lifestyle change.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, veganism, as far as I'm concerned, it isn't a diet at all. There's two different things really. There's veganism, then there's plant-based diets. So because somebody can be eating like a vegan diet, but still sort of wear leather and et cetera, et cetera. So that's why mainly that's why when the show did ask me, lose weight like me, so do you want to call it a vegan diet or do you want to call it a plant-based diet? Because they aren't really the same thing exactly. And I said, well, call it vegan because I just want to get the word vegan on TV more. But
I think
rather than
our diets
plant-based.
were a bit like, okay, oh wow.
Yeah, I've actually got some video footage lined up for that in a moment. Because I don't. All right, I won't go on about it now. We'll have a chat in a minute. But so yeah, I mean, I can get you there. Did you find any? I mean, when I was obviously losing weight and I was not in a good state, I obviously went I started losing weight and it was through veganism, and I found that the community that I was talking to, and they were offering a lot of support. People were, you didn't feel quite as isolated anymore because you sort of like going into a whole new world of people who were doing the same sort of thing as you, and I find that really community spirit and the help that they offered really, really helpful for me to be, keep going down the correct path. I mean, did you have any, good support around you for when you started losing weight and giving up like the sugar addiction, etc.?
Oh, of course. I was living with my dad at the time, and he was just my massive support. Him and my mum were just always like, every time I'd come down the stairs, they'd be like, "Oh my God, you look great. You look amazing. We're so proud of you." And then when they saw how passionate I was with my food, and I was when I started going outside fully, I'd go to the shops and I'd read all the back of the labels, and I'd get all this healthy food, and I'd come back and I'd be so excited. Every time I went to the shops, I'd come back and it'd be like Christmas. I'd be like, I've got this. Asda are doing this sugar free. I was just so excited, and having that love you know, just the three of us having that love and that support, I think just really it manifested my weight loss journey. And then once the stones started coming off, and every time I'd go and get weighed, in Boots. I don't know if anyone knows, guys, but there's a machine in Boots, and it does, I think it's about £1 or 50 pence, and it does your BMI, your body fat mass, your height, your weight. And I'd go and get weighed every week, and I'd run in and I'd nearly boot the door down, and I'd be like, ta-da, I've lost this much this week, baby. And the elation on my dad's face was just absolutely priceless. Cool. It was something that I will remember forever. And my dad passed away 2 years ago yesterday. And for him to see this transformation, to me to turn into, get back to the confident person I was, you know, I was the first one up in drama classes. I was doing all the school shows. I was the first one up. I was the first one in, and I was the last one to leave. And to lose that confidence, but for me dad to see it again was just worth more than any number or any, any size. It was priceless.
I understand you fully there, because, you know, obviously I lost my dad a couple of years back as well. And he was always, thank you. And he was always very, very worried about my weight. And he always, I suppose he must have somewhere, he always thought that I'd go before him, really, because, you know, I was in such bad shape. But it was nice for him to see that, you know, I got myself, you know, quite a considerable amount of weight off and managed to lose all the illnesses. He did feel quite, he said to me a good few occasions how relieved he was to see, you know, that I was improving and doing well. But did you find, obviously you had the support of your immediate family there, how did you find, sorry, before I ask that, I'll just check this one from Level Joy. She says, if you don't mind the topic, when dealing with both mental health issues and physical issues, would you recommend treating both at the same time, or would you focus on one at a time, or maybe a ratio?
That's a really good question. Again, I'd say, you know, you have to change your life, like what I did and what Mark did, and, you know, anyone going through a lifestyle change, you have to identify the problem. So you know, there were so many times I tried before to lose weight. I tried weight loss classes. I tried going to things, but I just, in my mind up here, I wasn't right to do that. I wasn't in the right headspace. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to do it. And, you know, I'd try and do it. I'd eat healthy for a couple of hours, but my mind wasn't in the right place. So I couldn't do it. So an hour later, I'd be eating unhealthy again, or I'd be opening a bottle of fizzy drink again. So I had to work on myself and realize that I had an issue. I had a problem, and just get myself together, get my thoughts together, get my mental health, which is the priority. And once I got that lined up, I think, touch wood, I focused on the physical, and then focused on, you know, feeling better with physically. And I was just had to be in the right headspace. You have to be in the right headspace to make that change, because of course, you probably say mental health is so important.
So you probably say that you sort of had to address some, like you say, admit that you have the problem, you know, work on the issues that are causing you to go down that path anyway. And then at that point, then start focusing on the physical changes that are sort of required there.
Yeah, it was the situation as well, because I was battling, and I've had anxiety and depression and dyspraxia. I got diagnosed since I was 5 years old, and I have ADHD as well. You know, I had all these battles going on inside of me, and I was so young as well. I was only 21, you know, 21. I was 21, 20. And when I was battling all these, you know, disorders, and I had to get them. I had to identify. I had to identify with them. And then once I did that, then I could, you know, go on the physical.
So I was going to ask, obviously, before that question, in relation to what we were talking about before what Joy said, is you obviously had the support of your immediate family. How did you have any? Now, I do have a reason for asking this strange sounding question. Did you have any adverse reactions from people other than your family about you losing weight, or the fact that you decided to give up something, that you were using a restrictive diet, really, you know, where you were giving up sugar? Did anyone really have a massive problem with that?
You know what it was? I think it's never what people say, it's how they say it. So when I first started putting the weight on, people who I knew from like years and years ago, who knew me from when I was younger and watching me grow up, there was just something in the faces, you know, their eyes. Shakespeare's got a quote that I love: the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's a Shakespearean quote. And it is true in everything that we do today. It was how people say it, you know what I mean? Or say things, or, you know, it was more like, how are you? You know, they would just look, it was a bit lost, and they could tell I was lost as well. So when I was at my biggest, it was a lot of that. And then when I started losing the weight, people were like, you look great, you look amazing. So there was a lot of backing. I felt like it was like the community backing me, you know, where I lived and stuff. And like I had the postman going, hey girl, you haven't half shaved off a lot of timber. Taxi drivers, bus drivers, everyone asking me, you know, so many things, how I did it. And I love that. I'm all about people asking questions. So it was more like I had this backing behind me, and I loved it. It was amazing.
That's great. Garuda's saying he loves your energy, and you've got him crying.
Oh, thank you. I don't want you to cry though. Be happy.
So the reason why I asked that question obviously is because I was just interested on how the people were around you, other than sort of your immediate family. And I think anyone who decides to lose weight on plant-based or does go in, you know, for ethical vegan reasons and starts losing weight, that I always find there's quite a bit of a backlash that you don't get with other people's sort of like weight loss methods, really, if you will, or their lifestyle choices, you know, dietary. For instance, I had people who wanted me to be healthy, you know, work colleagues and family, but they didn't want me to be healthy, giving up animal products. And, you know, there was quite a lot of negativity for me, and you know, from the people around me. That's why I really sort of got drawn to the online community more, where, you know, with other people who were going through eating plant-based or veganism. I had people at my workplace rubbing ham on my computer keyboard, you know, and, you know, like throwing things at me, and, you know, arguing daily arguments about it, you know, saying, oh, you know, why are you bothering? I'm going to eat triple meat now because, you know, you're not. And it's like, where are you getting this from? You know, why are you doing this? It seems like, you know, people seem to be generally happy if you're restricting what you eat, if it's something, you know, like sugar. They're glad to see you do well, but it's just a shame that they can't have that level of decency, etc., when it comes to giving up animal products. I think people just don't want to give them up, and, you know, they don't want to think you can thrive. The people don't mind knowing that they can thrive without refined sugar. That's fine. They don't mind that, but they don't want to know that they can survive absolutely fine not eating animal products, because nobody wants to give up the cheese. It's just the truth of the matter. It's crazy, really.
It's crazy that you had them experiences, like someone doing that in the workplace, and, you know, all these crazy madness going on. It's wild. It's like it is really, really strange, and sometimes, like, it's hard to shut that off and think, is that a personal vendetta? Is that a personal dig, or is that just
we got on like a house on fire before I decided not to eat animals anymore. It's just insane, isn't it?
Wild.
But they came around in the end. They came around in the end, I think.
And it's good that you never gave up.
Yeah, exactly. Notorious. Before I go for Notorious Tam's comment, I think if I'd been plant-based, so, you know, I'd been plant-based just for health and just, you know, as a dietary choice, then the amount of pressure that I was getting could have sent me off it. You know, because I felt, even though I was getting so much better, you know, it could have really sent me off it. But because I had I don't want to use the term belts and braces, but I'll go for it. You know, I had this other thing, is I couldn't eat those products because, you know, I didn't ethically believe that I should be eating them anymore. You know, so I had that to back me up. So anytime that you sort of like, you know, like, I could just deal with, you know, like, just breaking out of this, like, you know, like whatever. You said, can't do it because such and such isn't gonna, like, for me to eat that bacon butty, you know, I don't want to, like, you know, depress you down here, MJ. But you know, if I eat that bacon butty, an individual has to die for that choice. So, you know, that means that it doesn't matter what anyone else says to me. I just carry on anyway. But, you know, for that reason, so it really helped me out. Do you want to watch the previous comment?
If it means something to you, I always say to people who ask me, I get asked all the time, which I love, but if it means something to you, like me cutting sugar out was a massive part of my life, and it's through personal choice, and it's made me happy. It's given me genuine happiness. And of course I still get, you know, complete sugar out completely, and we all know I like a drink. Let's call it what it is.
Are we still talking about sugar-free pop, or are we talking about something else here? I don't know.
So when I do go out, I will treat myself, you know, once in a blue moon, to a cocktail or something like that, you know. But I'll only ever have one. I'll only ever. Who'd have thought, right? I only ever have one. I only ever, and then I'll have like, you know, something like a Diet Coke or things like that. So I don't completely have no sugar.
Yeah, because just in case anyone thinks she's sort of like, you know, I think she's underplaying this, considering, as you can see on screen right now, her YouTube channel is called Drinks with MJ, and you're not allowed to go on there unless you've got a drink in hand, and I'm not talking a cup of tea. So, you know, I definitely think, you know, she might like the. Obviously, I'm joking. Like everyone likes the odd drink here and there, even me. So yeah. While we're here, this is MJ's channel, Drinks with MJ. She's got a lot of very interesting guests. Production values way high. You know, she's got studios. You know,
Thank you.
locations. It's just crazy. I mean, I keep looking at the channel and thinking, I'm waiting for this thing to explode because you know, it's really good watch.
On it. Do you know what? Thank you so much. We're just in the early days of the show and production, and for the past year and a half, everything's been, you know, up and down and the arse end of the world, hasn't it? So I think,
yeah, that's true.
You know, the production wise, but you know, I'm at the Drinks with MJ. I am actually putting out these new mugs as well soon as well. So subscribers will win a mug. So cheers, darling. Hey, let's do a clink, 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 clink.
Look, it's clink. It's just the merch. It's the merch plug now, isn't it? Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. And my merch link is in the bio, by the way, in the descriptions video. Get in there. Week. Obviously, MJ also has her Instagram, which has got lots of cool stuff on. Some pictures are a little bit racy. I'm not kidding. I had to avert my eyes on some of them. You know, like for example, this one. You know, and that's all I'll say. And
it's 2022, honey.
Whatever it takes. No kidding. It's good. On a serious note, it's really good to see that you're feeling so much more confident with who you are and yourself, that you are able to put these pictures online. I could never do it. You know, you even when I get to my goal weight, I don't think I ever could. So well done you on that. It shows real character that you've moved so far on in such a short space of time.
Thank you very much. Do you know what? There's no such thing as the perfect body or the perfect shape, and where I am now, I'm all about body positivity. You know, I still have the stretch marks. I still have a little tiny bit of loose skin, but I own it now, and it's part of me. Yeah. It's part of my DNA. And if I want to wear something, I'll wear it, and I'll wear it with confidence. I'll wear it with, you know, all love, and I'll just go for it now. And that's where I am.
Everyone should definitely have that attitude.
Definitely.
Notorious Tam is asking, is MJ vegan? She's not. MJ eats. Why am I saying what you eat? You say what you eat. Do you want to give us a? Do you want to give us a sort of like a typical day of what you eat? And you know, even though MJ is not vegan, you know, people seem to think we vegans are super judgmental, but like 98% of the world isn't vegan. So you know, it's
not high? Is it that high? 98%?
I don't know. I'm making that up. I have no idea what the percentages are. But you know, veganism is a very small part of the population. So we don't expect. Well, we'd like everyone to be vegan, but we are aware that we can still have conversations and talk to people about interesting things, even when they're not. And you never know, do you?
You never know in life. One thing's certain.
You never know where life takes you. So yeah, I mean, do you want to give us a rundown of what your typical sort of day of eating? You know, just breeze really quickly over any animal products.
Yeah. Just beep, cut that out. Yeah, so in the morning I will have, and here we go, I'll have some avocado.
That's good. We like that.
Bread. You ready for this? With a boiled egg or a fried egg? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, we probably substitute that for something like maybe like tempeh or something like that or whatever. But, you know, I get the gist.
Yeah, but lately I have been having a lot of corn. I think corn's fantastic. So if I have so for lunch I'll have a chicken stir fry, but I'll substitute it with corn instead.
That's a good
swap. I'll put corn in the stir fry, and I do feel it's a bit more nourishing. It's a bit more like, you know,
yeah.
You can give it a bit more filling.
I get you.
So
there's quite a few chicken substitutes nowadays. I mean, what's the one that the kids always like? What was it? I think it used to be called like Naked Glory or something, but it's changed its name. It's changed its name now, but that's pretty close, to be fair, you know, to the animal equivalent, but obviously without the other things like saturated fat and cholesterol. So and on obviously, you know, no one's dying. I have to say these things just because it's built into me, MJ. I'm not judging you, by the way. I'm not.
I know. And then I'll have, do you know what I really like as well? Corn mince. So I'll have
Oh,
like a
okay.
chili and I'll have some corn mince. But I eat a low carb diet.
No, okay.
That was part of my lifestyle change on Lose Weight Like Me. So I have a really low carb diet. So what I'll do is I'll have a little bit of a small carb in the morning with like some brown bread or something like that, and then I'll eat low carb throughout the day. So then
Do you
I will
still eat
have
fruit
some
and stuff? Do you
cauliflower
eat like
rice.
fruits and veggies and things? Because obviously
Love
they're good.
vegetables.
Because they're good carbohydrate, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like really like fruit a lot, but I'll have some blueberries because they're brain food. And me being an entertainer and an actor and stuff, I need to feed the brain, don't I? So I have a lot of
You
blueberries
do
and stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
So you do eat a fair bit of sort of veggies in the day anyway, and other
Yeah.
such things. So yeah, that's really really good. I was going to ask you. So should we talk about the show? Should we talk about the show that we were on?
Please.
So so we were on the show together. Lose Weight Like Me, as MJ said, it was quite a lot of applicants, and they chose us guys. We were going to be the mentors, and they had contestants on there, two for the first episode, wasn't it? Two, and they basically could choose two of the weight loss heroes from the four that were available, which was the general. We didn't get picked, and I don't think that's anything to do with us. I think it was the fact that we were the only ones who were restrictive diets as such. We were actually cutting something out that people just didn't want to give up. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll add this to the stream, and we'll just watch the intro for the show. So it's only a short one. So,
hello, I'm Jordan Banjo.
And I'm Dr. Sarah Kayat. Welcome to an inspirational new diet show.
Behind these four walls are weight loss heroes who've lost an extraordinary amount of weight and they now look nothing like these old photos.
We'll be revealing what our heroes look like now. And challenging two dieters to pick one of their weight loss plans.
Get ready to hear the secrets behind life-changing weight loss. This is Lose Weight Like Me.
So yeah,
I'm emotional.
So that was it, wasn't it? That was Jordan Banjo, and the woman I can never remember the name of. I'm really sorry. I always just think of
Sarah Kayat.
I'm terrible remembering her name. I don't know why. So let me just remove that from the stream for a moment.
I love the start where like you can see my red dress and your pink suit. We're ready to go.
Yeah,
Grumpy
Vegan Granddad's here, also known as Dan, and he's saying, not the suit. I always obviously I've always got a good sense of humor anyway, and well, I think I have anyway. So there you go. And I always say that I was like a bit like a pink Don Johnson from Miami Vice that had let himself go for a couple of years, but. Well, that suit was a nightmare for me because they ordered me the suit and
really?
They ordered me that suit. I didn't know what I was wearing until I got there, and they said, "What size?" Well, I wanted to just come in like a black suit, but they didn't think it was like because I'm not very flamboyant, obviously. But they wanted something a bit more pizzazz, for the show. So they said, "Oh, we'll get you a suit. We'll get you a suit. Don't worry about that." So I thought, "All right then," and they got me the suit, and I got there. Oh my God, that's pink. It's like that's actual pink, it's like that's not funny. And they said, "Oh, it's okay, it'll look good." And then they asked me my size, obviously, so I said, "Okay, I'm this size." But they said, "Well, what we'll do, just to make sure there's no issues, we'll get you a couple of 3 sizes, and then we'll know which one fits for sure." So anyway, they got me one that was way too small, one that was a little bit too small, and then one that was so big, that it felt like I was like 3 years old wearing my dad's suit. But because the others were so small, that's the one I had to end up wearing. So I was wearing. So that's why my pants, my legs look about like twice as wide or something, or they look like really flouncy, like the shimmery sort of cloth, because my legs are half the size of the pant leg. And I had to like find ways of sort of pinning the pants up during the show so they didn't fall down as well. It's like, so they sent out for safety pins and they were digging in me as well. Probably one of the reasons why I was so nervous to sit down. But it was problematic for me, that suit. And then Grumpy's never letting me live it down either. So there we go. How were our experiences with the show and crew? I thought the whole show was very positive. Everybody there was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't say anything bad about them, experience wise and interactions with them. What about you, MJ?
The show, all the team, the cast and crew was so nice. Everyone was so helpful and just lovely, and it felt like a real family, didn't it? It felt like we were all a family and we were all supporting each other. But myself, Mark, Bonnie, and Umar, the other two weight loss mentors, we were all in a room for like 17 hours and we couldn't leave the room, could we? And then Mark went down to do his VT, but you were gone for like 5 hours and we were like, I think we were like, has he done a runner?
I don't know what happened there. They kept refilming and refilming. I mean, that's one of the things, though. They film so much footage, hours and hours and hours and hour footage, and then they put you on screen for 30 seconds. I don't know, or maybe a little bit longer, but, it's a lot more footage than actually gets shown.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, because I spoke a little bit about my dyspraxia and mental health and things like that, but we had to make a TV show and, of course, stick in with the adverts and, British TV times. So I'm totally aware of that.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience and I loved it. And I felt so lucky to be part of it as well.
It's actually, is Paul still in the chat, Sheree? Well, Paul from before, hence Herbivore, he's the one who put me through. They phoned him because he's quite a much larger YouTuber than I am. You've not say, like channel count wise, even though he's pretty muscular as well, which I'm not. But they phoned. I think they contacted him and said, "Do you know anyone who's had a good sort of plant-based vegan weight loss story?" He said, "Yeah, I know the guy," and so he put me forward for this. That's how they got in contact with me.
That's amazing.
Well, funny, how did they find you?
Yeah, someone tagged me in something on Instagram, a post, and then I actually saw the article online about the show, and then I was literally writing an email out to one of the casting directors, and then as I was writing the email out, I got an email from one of the casting directors, and it was literally like a magnet effect. It was like, and then once I found out what it was and what we were doing, I was like, sign me up. Yes, please. This is a bit me.
I was a bit worried at first because you always wonder if they're going to be like a typical sort of reality show where they're not really thinking of the contestants, all the other participants like us. They're really thinking of the most outrageous thing they can do to sort of like get the views. But this was definitely not that kind of show. This was a very sort of heartfelt sort of like these people have done well, and let's see if we can get other people doing well as well. So that was really good. And I know what you mean, because they had to cut some things out through time constraints, but the only thing that annoyed me just a little bit was the fact I did talk about one of the things that keeps me on track is obviously doing it for the animals and ethical veganism.
Yes,
but none of that made it in. But I understand that the show was about diet, so I don't judge him too harshly. But at least I like to just a couple of words, but,
just a line,
just a line of don't eat animals. But it wasn't in there. It wasn't in there, so that's a shame. How to follow MJ Carter on YouTube. The link is in my description for MJ's channel and as well as her Instagram. So go there, Garuda, and follow away. I couldn't think of the many words there.
I was like, what's he going to say next?
Subscribe and follow. He only wants the raunchy pictures. He's not fooling anybody. This is what's going on here. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think they portrayed how we actually. I mean, I was anticipating a little bit more of a biased opinion about how we sort of lost weight. I thought they might like spin on it, but I thought they were very fair about veganism for a start. And the benefits that can be had. Obviously, they didn't mention ethics, but as far as disease reversal and weight loss.
When your reveal came out, I thought, and you spoke with Jordan and Sarah.
Yeah, they cut it out
so passionately. Really, but you did. You spoke so passionately about like your health and what the vegan diet did for you. So yeah, I think you did get your point across to everyone.
Yeah, I did think I said something about the for the animals, but that bit got chopped. But it's
pardon the pun.
Yeah. So we'll let it slide though. So I think I did make another couple of clips just because I found them amusing, and plus I think it was a good demonstration that the channel were quite fair about how they portrayed what we did. So it's all right with yourself, MJ. What I'll do is I'll add this back to the stream, and what we'll do is we'll watch MJ's diet description and the reaction that the show put forward.
MJ's 25 and she was a self-confessed sugar addict. Her plan is the sugar-free diet and walking.
Yeah, sounds good.
By going through a sugar-free diet, reducing that sugar intake not only helps to reduce the amount of calories that you're taking in, but also helps reduce other long-term health things like type 2 diabetes.
Sugar is the destroyer of diets, whether it's obvious or hidden. It's sugar that makes us happy, and at the taste of it, our brains trigger the release of feel-good hormones, dopamine and serotonin. So it's no wonder Brits on average consume over 100 grams of sugar every day, and that's approximately 24 sugar cubes, over 3 times the recommended daily amount. Cutting out this obesity crisis villain is tough, but MJ was determined.
So I think they were pretty fair, and I like the animation, to be fair, on there. So and then this is the first contestant who was going to choose. They had a male, a man, and a woman, and this is sort of his reaction, to the idea of giving up sugar and going for long walks. I think so.
How much weight do you think MJ's lost?
5 stone.
In just 13 months, MJ, she's dropped 8 stone with her diet.
Wow. It's quite inspirational hearing the weight that she's taken off just by taking them simple steps to change her lifestyle.
So he seemed quite positive about you there, to be fair.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, he seemed pretty decent about it, and even though it was a restriction on him, and he was going to have to give up like refined sugars and do exercise, he seemed to have a really good sort of like vibe about that. So I was surprised when he didn't pick you, to be fair, because he seemed to really go for it. But
Jamie's great. I still speak to Jamie through Instagram and stuff like that, and he's great. He's done really well.
Because he picked Bonnie, who was which was a paleo.
Paleo,
it's like a paleo diet, yeah. So he did quite well on that, to be fair, as well. I think he did all right. He improved.
This is
himself.
your one. Woo!
But yeah, so this was me, and I was really shocked at this because I thought they would be a little bit more, as I said, a bit more iffy is the word I'd go for. But they were really good. And the reaction's priceless.
Mark's diet is a vegan diet and resistance training.
Vegan.
With veganism, you have a much bigger array of fruits and vegetables to pick from, and it means that you're allowed to eat more of them because they tend to be lower in calories. It can be a really good way to manage portion sizes with calories.
Over 1% of the British population has given up animal products to go vegan, and the numbers are growing fast. This diet is rich in nutrients and fibre and can reduce the risk of chronic diseases. For Mark, it reversed serious conditions to the point where medication was no longer needed. But remember, finding alternatives for the nutrients in animal products is a must for all-round health.
He works out for an hour 4 times a week. He goes cycling for cardio. He goes on the treadmill and with resistance training with weights.
That sounds good. It's what I wanted to do, more exercise. So
okay, so let me tell you, Mark, 47-year-old father of 4, so dad like yourself.
Yeah.
And in 2017, he weighed 34 stone.
Wow.
So a huge amount of weight. Okay. He really had no choice.
He had to do something.
He had to lose weight. Okay. He dumped fast food, fizzy drinks, and he went vegan, which excludes all animal products and fish.
I can't do it.
You can't do vegan.
How much weight do you think he's lost?
There we go. I knew that
10
was coming.
stone.
Higher, more than 10.
You're joking.
He lost 14 stone, which is 89 kilograms, in 2 years.
Wow. I'm motivated to do it, but I'm motivated enough to not go grab a rump.
Right, give me your top 5 veggies.
This makes me laugh, MJ.
It's like 5
Carrots, peas, peas, mushy peas.
mushy peas.
Why can't I think of any vegetables now?
On the spot, mate.
Don't eat them, that's why.
It's life changing, in a positive way. So let's not rule it out.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I thought the mushy peas. They couldn't name anything but mushy peas and carrots, which amused me no end. But it was strange because we're both sort of. Let me just drop this from the stream a moment. So we're back. Oh, so we're both restricting in different types of things that we eat, obviously. But yours was let's use the word palatable to him, whereas he just couldn't imagine it. He just couldn't imagine it. You know, it's which is it's weird because while there's a lot of animal products, obviously in a lot of foods, there's also a lot of refined sugar in a lot of food as well. But as I say, one they didn't mind. Why do you think he had such a reaction to me?
Do you know what it was? I think any lifestyle change, it can be scary. If you say to someone, "How did you lose weight?" and then they tell you, and you're like, "Oh my," cutting it out straight away. I think it can be a little bit like, "Oh, okay," like, "Oh, but I have to give up that." I remember a while ago, I was talking to someone about giving up butter. I don't have butter on my bread or anything like that, and that was a lifestyle health choice. And I remember someone went, "Oh my goodness, like I couldn't eliminate butter," and just was like, like it was like I was saying like blasphemy or something, you know what I mean? And it was just like, okay. So I do get that, like it can be a bit of a shocking thing, and it can be a bit scary and a bit daunting. But like everything in life, sometimes you do have to throw yourself into it, don't you?
Yeah, you did well giving up the butter, etc. Because obviously, I mean, you all know with losing so much weight yourself, any sort of like refined sort of oil or fat, sort of butter, even vegan alternatives like olive oil and vegetable oils, they're so high in calories. It really makes it harder to sort of maintain sort of like your correct weight if you got like a piece of toast, and it's spread with like a load of butter or vegan spread or whatever. It's just so many extra calories. It makes it a lot more difficult.
Hidden calories as well that can slow down your lifestyle transition and process. That's what I really identified with. It's these tips and tricks and stuff, and that's why I call it the MJ way. I've just done a lot of research and little things, like low sugar butter, low sugar ketchup, low sugar brown sauces, things like that, and they're all out there now. So it's amazing.
I mean, obviously, we were mentioning Paul before from the channel Hench Herbivore, and he's spoken a lot about about a book. I think it's by the Shirzais, and it's called, and it talks about the role that refined sugar that's not attached to like fiber, so not like fruits and veggies, but like refined sugar, processed stuff, has got a massive link to Alzheimer's now. In a lot of the more recent information. Out. So so you've done well. You shouldn't go. You shouldn't get out. Hopefully, not get Alzheimer's, or at least you've reduced your risk of such things quite considerably by giving up refined sugar.
Yeah, I think with everything, I think with just like cutting out the sugar, I saved myself, I hope, from like loads of different, diseases and things like that. And health is just so important to me. It was just about feeling better, and if I can change my health and reverse it, then that's the job done.
Yeah. Do you mind, MJ, if we just watch what? I mean, obviously, I want to talk to you more than watch clips, but I just had to add this extra clip in because the second contestant, their reaction to me was absolutely priceless, and I've just got to watch it because
this is like a meme.
It is a meme, isn't it? You're 100% a meme. You're absolutely right. So this is the second contestant after they get told that I was vegan.
So Kathleen wanted to find out about Mark. Mm-hmm. He went on a vegan diet.
Oh Jesus.
Oh Jesus.
Oh Jesus. Be a vegan for the rest of my days. I can't see it.
Oh dear. You've got to laugh, haven't you? I had to make it say it a few times. Just absolutely such a reaction.
That is brilliant. I bet you were at home like, go on, get.
I mean, I think because there's normally quite an adverse reaction to when you tell people you're vegan. Oh, here he goes. That you do expect it, but for it to just give such a raw sort of feeling about it on the channel, on the show, was just it's pretty funny.
It is.
So,
it's all funny.
So what does keep you motivated and to keep going down the path that you're going now with your health? What's your biggest motivation?
That's a really good question. My motivation is when we're going to get deep here, folks. But when I look back and think about where I'd come from and like that low point, and I call it very openly the depths of hell, which what it felt like to me. I that is my motivation. So when I don't ever want to go back there. So because I've been so low and I couldn't leave the house and all these horrendous things happened to me, you know, I actually thought that year I was going to pass away when I was in the room and all my addictions were rife and I was going to go through it all and I was going through it all. I thought I was going to pass away. So I never ever want to go back there. And that's what keeps me motivated. And also losing my father as well. You know, my dad seeing me transition. He's my massive motivation. And he was the mechanicals of the MJ way. And that's what keeps me motivated to not go back there.
And I suppose with the fact that he was so overjoyed and so happy to see how well you've done, you'd almost feel, would it feel a bit like you'd let him down if you were to backtrack in any way?
I think it'd be more of, for me, I've come so far now, and I think I just, you know, if I do have like a Chinese meal or, you know, a takeaway or something like that, I will always opt for the healthiest option. But if I feel myself, say if my depression flares up or something like that, I will just always reflect back. And I think, no, I won't. I'll spend some time. I'll cook something I like. And, you know, I'm doing myself proud, doing my dad proud and maintaining my health, really. And and the most important thing, I enjoy it. Oh, I love eating the way I do. It makes me feel good and I generally enjoy it. And that's why I think my lifestyle change has been so successful, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed buying a new pair of trainees and going out for walks and buying new headphones and bopping around the house, cleaning up, you know. So even when I couldn't go outside, I was cleaning in the house. I was moving, I was cleaning the windows and I was hoovering up and just keeping my body moving. So whatever situation you're in, you can make that change, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think from my motivation, as you say, you don't want to go back to where you were, and sometimes it's good to look at old photographs and maybe old videos of yourself in a really sort of bad way to sort of keep yourself on track. And you know, you look around and well, for me, for instance, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be absent in the children's lives, or you know, like I don't want to make Cherie a widow, you know, a widower, but even though she may feel different, you know, it depends on what day it is really and how much we've argued, I suppose. But I think I'm all right. But I think one of the biggest motivations for me is and what's really is the difference. I mean, I've tried to lose weight or change sort of lifestyle habits so many times, and I admit I'm not where I need to be exactly. I'm not 100% like where I need to be weight wise. But if I'd been in lockdown and I'd not been a vegan, I'd be more than 34 stone again. You know, because I eat this lifestyle not just for myself and not just for my family, but I also eat it, for ethical reasons and for the animals. That in itself is just such a driving factor for me that that I learned to love veggies and I love to learn beans and and all these other things. And then it's just after that, it's just remembering not to use all the vegan fats and all the eat the vegan cakes and and all the other terrible things.
So there's some really lovely vegan sweets.
That's
and stuff.
the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for veganism, but it's not good for somebody who wants to keep a vegan who wants to, keep their health well. 4 or 5 years ago, you couldn't get any of a lot of the options that are available nowadays. Now there's so many of them. It's just like, you stop it in one way, but in other ways you're going, keep making them, and more people will eat them instead of.
Well, that's what funny you say that, because me with being sugar free and living a sugar free lifestyle, when I started 5 years ago, there was like hardly any low sugar, stuff in the supermarket. So when I wouldn't go on my shopping trips, I'm the person guilty as charged. I spend like 3 hours in the shop, where someone like most people go in and they run in and out. I'm like 3 hours Friday night. I'm in and out. Looking at me labels, but I enjoy that. I love that so much, and I still do it now. My partner's, he's getting used to it. he looks at labels too now as well.
Oh yeah, labels. I mean, obviously, as living a vegan lifestyle, labels are our nemesis. I have to take a second pair of glasses with me to the supermarket to make sure I can see the small print, because
you dream of them, don't you? Like dream.
Because you're looking at a product and you're thinking that looks a nice loaf of bread. That mustn't have any animal products in, and then you get it, and right at the bottom in little tiny letters it goes milk. Right, can't have that one. Here we go. The Garuda Legends. I don't care about your diet. lifestyle choice. I am just glad you're getting your health back. You make veganism look good. It's very nice of you to say, Garuda, and it's always a pleasure to have you. He's always very, very nice to me, and I appreciate it. He's a nice fella. Level Joy,
Very
did you have
nice.
any trouble in restaurants with family dinners and such while being sugar-free, MJ?
Very good question again. I'm loving these questions tonight. So, do you know what? I'm one of these people. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I download the PDF and I look at the menu before I go. I have a good look.
Nice
like
prep work.
Yeah, the night before, I'll be like, oh, where are we going again? And I'm like this. I'm looking at the menu and I'm like, right, okay, this is what they do. But no, not really, because I'll get something. Say if I get like a chicken and vegetables or something like that, and there's like maybe like a tomato with something sauce on it that's going to be like drenched in sugar, then I'll actually ask, I go, can I have no sauce on that, please? Or can I have the sauce on the side? You know, it's just about being assertive and knowing what you want and where you want to get in your journey. So I'd say stuff like that, or wherever I go, I always get like vegetables, something with no added sugar and artificial sugars and things like that. So going out for lunch was just, you know, I enjoy it and I still do, but I do look at the menu and the healthier alternatives on the menu.
Yeah, it's always a good choice to do prep work, like MJ said. You know, check out. I mean, if you're trying to make sort of any health changes, you know, last thing you want to do is just go, yeah, I'll go to that restaurant, and then find out there's absolutely nothing you can eat, and it's just a miserable time for you. You know, I mean, vegans know that as much as anyone else. You know, you go there, and it's like everyone's just like eating steaks around you, and you know you're there with the fries. It's not a good evening on many levels. So yeah, prep work is always the best, and it's always nice if you can, if you are wanting to go out with family or friends, and there isn't a suitable place for you to eat for whatever reason. You know, I don't often just say I won't go. You've got to sort of like suggest maybe an alternative. Say, well, I've looked at the menu. There's nothing on there that I can have, guys. Can we maybe try this one? You have a look at the menu, see if you're okay with it. You know, and if they're good enough friends or nice enough family members, then they should help you out on that one. Elliot's saying, and do the same with going out to eat because I don't like having to rush decisions.
Yes.
How are you with that? Are you quite spontaneous, or do you, or from the sound of it, you like to prior plan? But do you have any spontaneous moments as well? I take it.
Absolutely. Well, if I go out, I will always just, even if I'm in a restaurant, or I won't rush. You know, I won't. And if I'm going somewhere that like maybe I haven't seen the menu and I've never seen the place before or what they do, I'll just take my time. I'll have a little look at the menu. But because I've researched so much, I've spent so much time researched into food through YouTube and, you know, just really investigating into food, which I enjoy and has really helped my lifestyle change. Doing that research and learning myself, I know now what's good and what's sustainable and what I'll enjoy. So in the restaurant, so I enjoy it now. And I don't worry. And as I said, when I do go somewhere, I will ask for something on the side, or I'll ask to be taken. So much diversity in the world. So there's so much diversity in the world that like restaurants now, they're so accommodating, and you know, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's gluten-free, there's all kinds now, which is amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot more choice now there,
totally.
which is really, really good. And it's really helping people out. So that's all. So what's next for you then? What are you up to now? Have you got any sort of projects on the go? Have you got anything you want to talk about? Anything anything?
Yeah, thank you. So I am, before like the weight loss came into my life and the lifestyle transformation, I do a lot of this. So now I wonder where to get it from. A very theatrical, darling.
I've been told I'm keeping my hands down. I've been told my hands move around far too much by many people. So they're firmly like just peeping up now and again like this.
Away. So I do act. I'm an actress as well, and I do presenting, and I do all kinds of different skills, and you know, I do all kinds of different stuff. I've done a lot of short films, a lot of theatre. Spent 14 years doing a lot of theatre, local theatres, working with young people. Last year, I still think we're in 2021. I forget sometimes. I'm like, 1996. So I do a lot of stuff like that, theatre productions, presenting. I've done some modeling last year. You know, it's just about now. I've got myself where I want to be. I'm constantly learning.
Yep.
So I am just moving forward now, you know, and just going into new adventures, taking on newer business adventures, new experiences, and
That's
just
cool.
enjoying life. But I have a short film that is
All right.
called While We Wait, and it was directed and wrote, and my partner produced it, and it's on Amazon Prime. So if anyone has Amazon Prime, it's called While We Wait, and my partner Andy directed it, wrote it, and produced it as well. So very proud of that as well. That is on Prime USA and
Yeah, I think I
Prime
saw. I
UK.
think I saw some clips from it. There was one. I think you were stood outside a car. I think that was on your social media and stuff. Yeah. So
I was
yeah,
late. I done my dramatic entrance. It was fabulous.
yeah. It's good acting. Good acting. Let's hope we see you in
Thank
even
you.
more film and TV. So that's good.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, obviously MJ's social media links are in the description of this video, this live stream. I will leave this live stream up for anyone who wants to watch it on the replay as well. Don't forget to go over and subscribe and follow MJ, also me as well, if you don't mind. If you are here and you've not subscribed to me, please do it. And yeah, have you got any sort of closing thoughts, MJ? Because we're rolling up to about an hour.
Fabulous. No, I've had,
So
you know
we've
what? I've
done
had
well
a
there.
really nice time. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's been really
for all
good
your
to speak to you.
questions.
Is there anything you wanted to cover that I just didn't say?
Well, do you know what? It's been fabulous, and I've had a fabulous time. And it's all about now motivation, moving forward, and you know, never focus on the negative, and never focus on the negative. I just think about like moving forward, and if I can inspire and motivate, or you know, if someone finds any motivation or light from my story, then that's all I can do, and that's all I could hope for. So thank you very much.
No worries. I'll not put you on the spot on the stream, but if you ever fancy giving veganism a try, MJ, even if it's just for like a 30-day sort of like give it a go kind of thing, drop me a line and I can send you some material which will really help you. So I have to say that because you know,
of course,
that's who I am. But yeah, but it's really nice to have you on here. Has anyone got any questions for MJ before we wrap up? Anyone, get the questions in there now, and then she can respond to them while she's here. One night only maybe not one night only. If I can convince her to go vegan one day, we can have her back for an update, or even just after a 30-day challenge.
Maybe you could do vegan eats with MJ one day.
Yeah, vegan eats with MJ. That sounds like a channel.
Oh, that's it. That's a new channel that's coming out next year.
Sounds good to me. Has anyone put any questions in, Cherie?
Not yet.
Oh, come on, people. You're typing like 98-year-old people. But anyway, if you are typing and you're just really slow, I apologize, but I'm wrapping it up. It's your own fault. Learn to type quicker. And really, again, thanks to MJ for coming on here. She's absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Go follow her, go subscribe to her, support her, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.